This hangout is on air live, so I hope you can hear me. So every time I go live, I get people that go, "Oh, I just missed it. I just missed it." Well, now I'm going to wait you out. "Oh, I just missed it." All right. So we are live. So if you're out there, pop in. I got a couple things I want to talk about. Band stuff, rockin' stuff. Flat Fred, say, how you doing, man? I need to get that Japanese contemporary strat out with the two humbuckers, Thunder humbuckers, and show it to you. But first, what I want to do is I've got some video on my channel of what I'll tell you the story of this guitar real quick. Back in the 80s, I was in a band playing with a guy that I grew up with. I still know him. He's a great guy. Guitar player. His name's Don. And everybody was buying in the early 80s. Hey, Meryl J., haven't heard from you in a long time. Everybody was buying the Japanese Fender Squires when they came out, the MIJs, made in Japan Squires when they come out. And they were great guitars, and I bought one too. Now, I bought a Fiesta Red 3 single coil with the Fender System 1, I believe, tremolo on it. And my buddy Don was the kind of guy to never be outdone. Well, this happened. Hey, Vincent, I remember that guitar. This happened to be right when Fender wasn't making any guitars. Leo had gone to Japan, things had gone to crap, and Fender wasn't putting out anything. And everybody was buying these MIJ Fenders, and they were the Squires. And not to be outdone, my buddy Don bought a made in Japan E-Series Contemporary with 2 humbuckers and a 3-position switch and System 1 tremolo, or I believe it's System 1 with a locking thing and everything. And it was burgundy mist. Well, he didn't like that color. So he totally sanded it off and painted it canary yellow, bright canary yellow. And we had a gig at a biker rally for a motorcycle club called South Madison Motorcycles. And we played for them every year. And this was a huge, huge party. It was on a big, giant 40-foot flatbed truck with a stage and this giant PA system and everything. And he had finished the guitar and was waiting for the lacquer to dry, right? And so he figured, well, it had sat long enough and it dried. Well, for whatever reason, he didn't have a guitar stand that day. And he laid the guitar against his amp on this flatbed truck. And when we came back from break, he picked this guitar up and noticed yellow paint on the bed of the truck. And he looked at the bottom of the guitar, and it had pulled the paint, the lacquer, the paint, and everything off the bottom of the guitar. So that pissed him off. So he sanded the guitar down again and painted it with a wrinkle fleck paint, a turquoise, kind of a seafoam turquoise with black flecks in it. And there's a video of me doing a Jimi Hendrix song, Stone Free, of me playing that blue guitar. He put this finish on it that was like Tolex. It was a spray-on finish, but it was indestructible. And he had taken all the original stuff off and put a Kahler Killer and a set of Spurzl locking tuners on it. And over the years, we had played, and I wore my Strat out. I wore the neck out. And I hadn't been playing for a couple of years, and he called me up one time. He goes, Ed, hey, man, you want to start a band? I didn't want to. And I go, my guitar's wore out, Don. My guitar's worn out. I can't play it. I can't. The frets are shot. He goes, I'll tell you what. You know my Japanese strat? I go, yeah. He goes, I'll tell you what. I'll trade you your Squire, made in Japan Squire, for my made in Japan Fender, so that you've got a guitar to play, and then I'll work on your guitar, and then we'll figure something out. So I said, all right. So we swapped, and I played that guitar that way for 10 years, at least 10 years. And the switch wore out, and I had gotten so many other guitars since that point, and I stole the bridge off of it, the Killer. Well, he shows up one day, years and years and years later. He goes, hey, man, I got something for you. He gives me the original System 1 bridge. He says, here, this is the bridge off that guitar, the original bridge. I'm like, holy shit, sweet, right? So things go round and round. I ended up parting this guitar off. I show it to a friend of mine one day that was looking for a neck, and I showed him this guitar, and he goes, I want that neck. And it's an E Fender. Are we back? Did we make it back? Oh dear. Well, while I was resetting my internet, I went and tried to find the guitar and grabbed the wrong case. I'll get it. But anyway, the guitar got parted out. So my friend who originally had the guitar had done so much sanding on the body that he had kind of changed the contours and everything. And my other buddy that had it after I sold it discovered the original paint inside the spring cavity, the tremolo cavity in the back of the guitar, and determined that it was the burgundy mist color. So he finds a body on eBay. He restores this guitar back to original, buys an original neck pickup, the original Fender neck pickup, gets the switch, finds the locking nut because that had been removed, puts the original bridge back on it, and restores it back to the way the guitar was originally when Don bought it. And he brings it over to my house and he opens up this case and I look at it and I go, you know, I've told this before, you know, you're not going to leave this house with this guitar. Yeah, the aliens. You're not going to leave this house with this guitar. And so what I ended up doing was trading my Kramer aluminum neck XB50 bass for it to get it back. So I still have it, and it's a beautiful guitar. Now, the body he got that was an original replacement, the original Fender Burgundy Mist made in Japan E-Series body, had a lot of marks and issues on it, you know, scrapes on the paint and stuff, but I didn't care. It didn't matter. For the age that the guitar was, which was over 30 years, it was just like, you know, it should have been. And so I have the guitar. So I need to dig this guitar out to show it the flat frets because I know he knows a lot about these guitars. The vid of me playing it is still on my channel. If you go to my channel and search Stone Free, I don't know if I've got it listed as Stone Free or Jimi Hendrix, but if you list either one of those, you'll find it. But I do have the link. My mouse is malfunctioning. It takes me forever to get it to click to copy and paste things. I do have the link if anybody would like to jump in. I would have to I'd have to send it to you on Facebook. And well, the flat frets, the point about that is I'm playing the guitar before it got restored, when it was basically shot. But it has the Kahler bridge on it instead of the original bridge. So you'll see that, and then I can show you the guitar as it stands now. But that's a guitar that, you know, I'll never get rid of. That's a guitar that I truly like. But if there's anybody out there that would like to jump in and can find me on Facebook, I can send you the link. I would post it here. And I don't know, I can always boot anybody I want to out of the chat, but the weird painted one, yeah, it had that fleck paint on it, the wrinkle paint. The stuff was like, it sprayed on, and when it was done, it was like Tolex. Hi, Zip. She's doing okay. Fair to Midland. The treatments are starting to catch up with her, but she's better than halfway through them. So we played last night. So we had, you know, kind of a long night last night. We played from 8 o'clock till midnight. Thank God it was nice and warm out and clear and no drizzle or rain or anything. It was a clear night. Wasn't too hot, wasn't too cold. It was a decent night. I got video, but nothing noteworthy. And I was working on editing some video, and I got so tired of listening to my own self that I kind of just abandoned the project for the time being. I'll go back and listen to it some more. Like I said, my camera will only record for about an hour now, so I got the last set. You got to pull the best bits out, the best little bits. But that's kind of something I wanted to talk about was what to do when you're bored. When you're bored with YouTube, it would be Flat Frets. It would be Stone Free or Jimi Hendrix. Let me see if I can find it. If I can find it my own self and try to send it to you. Search. Wait for the search to come up. But the video's been up for a couple of years, and I've got so many videos to just go through page by page to try to find it. This old laptop that I got over here isn't okay. Stone Free. The keyboard on it doesn't even work anymore. I have to use it on. There it is. Okay, here it is. Stone Free Jimi Hendrix cover. Let me copy the URL. Okay, I'm going to paste it in here as my band page. There it is. There's the URL right there. You can go see it. I would share it. You got it. All right, you already got it. Well, there it is for anybody else that wants to find it. If you'd like to find it, it's right there. And that was recorded like, hey, man, I don't know what the date on that is. That could be 2008. So you can see I had real long hair. I had really long hair. I was in a different room, had a different recording setup, singing live. I'm playing live to a backing track that I made. So the vocals and the guitar are live, the bass and the drums are programmed in a drum program, and the bass I recorded, and then I just played that live and then to and recorded it. I don't know if you can hear that or not. My laptop's not too loud. Get a copyright claim here. But that's the video. That is the video. It's not metallic. It was like a wrinkle finish, literally. It was like Tolex. When you sprayed this crap on, it was like Tolex. And when the guy that I ended up giving the guitar to, when he tried to sand it off, he said he changed all the contours of the body. It was so hard to get off. And that's, I won't get busted. I don't care about the link on here. They can no. That's all cool. I want people to go watch it. I mean, that video's on my channel. I never got a claim or anything, any kind of copyright claim on that video that I remember. And if I get one on it now, it's just a claim. It's not, it doesn't matter. It's not a strike or anything. It's just a claim, so it won't matter. I've posted a lot of that stuff. There's somewhere on there's on the same guitar, me playing Little Wing, and probably a couple other things. So yeah, go watch those old videos. I know there's a lot of videos. I was talking about that the other day about, like, what if you delete 1,000 videos, and the only thing that it will affect, stain on my shirt from lunch. Anyway, the only thing that it will affect is anybody watching that video again, but any accumulated watch time or anything like that doesn't get affected. But I'm starting to really care less and less about that, and kind of want to thin the channel down. If I would almost go and start over if it wasn't so difficult now to build things up and get things going. But that's kind of what I wanted to talk about. What do you do when you're bored? When you're bored with YouTube, you're bored with what's on YouTube. You're bored with what's on social media. You're bored with your band. You're just bored. What do you do? Hey, Janice, how you doing? No, I wouldn't delete all my vids. Not at all. The ones that got any views, I would keep. Ones like that one that got 125 views. Wow, big deal. I can always repost it. I've still got it, backed up on a hard drive. But what do you do? And we're trying to find new things to do. That's kind of why we want to go into an acoustic direction, because the band market down here, like, the bottom fell out. You either got to be an 80s hair band, or you've got to be catered to the wineries. And you've got to be able to go out like with a duo or a 3-piece or some kind of single with a looping thing. And so we've got to retool. We got to retool it and fix it up. Yeah, I know that, Cole, but if you go back and look through all my videos, 90% of them top out around 100 views or a little bit over 100 views. And then I've got a couple that, hit a little bit harder and got, like, I got one video that's got 30,000 views on it. And I've got several that got 10K, but I've never gotten a whole lot of views on a video. Well, no, I didn't talk band names with everyone except just Fred and Linda, of course, because she was here. Zip, no, places don't pay. You know what? And that's the other thing, because there's the place that we've played for the last 5 or 6 years, and all of a sudden I'm not hearing from the guy, and I get a hold of him because I knew he had an opening, and he goes, yeah, but I'm looking for like 1 or 2 people really cheap. And I was like, really? 1 or 2 people really cheap? Yeah, I know, Will. It doesn't have anything to do with the quality of the content. What? Nobody's ever been able to accuse me of that, right? Uh, no, YouTube goes by, if people are watching, they'll, if the video gets views, then YouTube pushes it. If it doesn't, they don't, and that's just the way it works, Until I come up with that magic video with those magic keywords that, I probably have to make it go viral, like sharing a dog or cat video or something, like on Facebook or Instagram, or one of those, and have a video go viral there, but from YouTube. I don't know, Will, but I guarantee YouTube's not promoting my videos. I don't know. It's all a mystery to me. It's a mystery to me. I mean, and you know yourself. What you know, 8%. All right, if I've got 1,400 subs and I get 140 views, that's 10%. Whoopee! Yeah, the reviews, Cole, absolutely. I know, but I'm not going to do reviews. Here, let me review these picks that I bought. These picks, they're good picks. These are Dunlop picks. They are the green turtle picks. 0.88 millimeter green turtle picks. I will name this video and tag it green turtle Dunlop pick. The good, the bad, the ugly. I use other picks too. I've got these picks that I bought from Stoneworks Picks, who I will never ever order from again, because I paid $20 for like 20 Delrin picks. So who's going to pay $1 a piece for a pick? Fuck you. And they were supposed to send me some picks to review and stuff. They're stone ones. And after I even made a purchase, they still boned me. So yeah, screw you guys. Hey, set them to private. Yeah. Well, if nobody's viewing them anyway, there's nothing I don't want anybody to see. So yeah, I don't know. If they pay for the trip to Germany, I don't know. I'm not in that crowd. I got ostrich-eyed. I've been ostrich-eyed from that crowd. That crowd doesn't like me. Hey, Adam, how's it going? That crowd don't like me no more. I've been ostrich-eyed. Because I got bored. I could go out on a real limb here. Let me go out on a limb. Hey, Will, you want a link? I've unsubbed Blasty from most of the review channels too, because I'm not in the market. I use what I use. I don't need it. I don't need it. All right, hold on. You guys, I cannot be responsible for. Well, send me a Facebook message, would you? Oh, I got you here. I got you. I'm just asking that you don't. If I can get my mouse to work. You don't send the link to anyone else, please. Let me be the one to bring people in. And don't come in here with no damn Mickey Mouse voice either. Yeah, Zip. You know what you use. You know what you like. And a guy like you're not going to buy any of that new crap anyway, and neither am I. I'm out looking for stuff I know, stuff that I've been using for years and years. I buy backups or replacements for stuff that I already know. I mean, every once in a while, there's something new I'd like to get, like Electro Harmonics has a pedal called the C9 that does a great Hammond organ sound. It's great. And I heard my friend use it, and this thing is freaking amazing. And when I looked it up, it's $260 some bucks for this pedal. You know, and it's like, I'm gonna do that. You know, not at this point. If I had a whole set worth of music that I was gonna substitute a organ sound for my guitar, I might do it. But I don't have that. You know, I'd have to work with that thing. Sent you the link, Willie. So what up? It's like a blind date where you get stood up, you know? But zip, I'd have to email you the link if you had the way to get in. Is there anybody else that would like to come in and chat for a while? I got some time to kill. Hey, it's Monday night. We did go out to dinner. We had an early dinner. We went to a local, our favorite little restaurant down the street and had dinner early. So that's out of the way. You don't have stuff to go live. Okay. All you need is a webcam, man. Get yourself a Chromebook. You'll love it. You will love it. I'll tell you what, I advocate for the Chromebook big time. But what do you do when you're bored? We're not going to be an 80s hair band. I know that. Now, I thought of a friend of mine today who is a little bit older than me, fantastic guitar player. And I'm thinking of switching like to the acoustic and adding another guitar player to play lead and play live. And so it would be me, another guitar player that could sing, Linda on bass, and Fred on drums. That, right. That is a consideration, Cole. That is a consideration. It would be really nice if they played like piano or keyboard or something. It'd be nice because I'm getting tired of not having a fuller sound with just guitar and bass. Hey, Will.
Good morning. What's up?
Morning.
Yeah, good morning. It's like Frosty the Snowman. He's always saying happy birthday. For me, it's good morning.
Well, actually, it's only approaching what 6 o'clock for you.
It's about 6 o'clock here. Yeah, when they had me working at the graveyard shift and everything like that, when everybody else was going home and I was showing up, but I was telling everybody good morning because for me that was my morning.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. When I worked second shift and third shift would come in, it'd be after midnight, and you'd say good morning. And
yeah, and it's funny because when you get there, you say good morning, and when the day shift comes in, you say good morning.
Yeah,
it's always good. It's always fucking good morning. And then even when if you let's say you work somewhere where it's like there's actually customers or something that you see, you have to tell them not have a nice day, have a good morning, enjoy the rest of your morning. Because if they're showing up during the graveyard shift, everything's fucking morning for you. So when somebody says tonight, you don't really know what that means.
Can you get me a discount on gauze and saline?
No.
Okay.
No, I can't get anybody a discount on anything.
Okay. I thought I'd ask.
Yeah, I can't get a discount. Give me 1 second here. Hang on for 1 second.
It's not like Marilyn Monroe's birthday or anything, is it?
No, that was the first of last month.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, I just sent you something on Facebook.
I got it. I saw it.
Okay.
I've noticed you've been posting Marilyn lately. I mean, I get it.
Well, when you say lately, do you mean for like the past year?
Yeah. Okay.
Well, no. The thing is when
I saw something today with the heart and the gun and.
Oh yeah. Well, see, this is the thing, and I actually did a video today, but I hadn't posted it. And because right now I'm in the middle of an MS flare-up, where it's going after my legs, and I'm having to lay down a lot and shit. And the very first time that MS took me out years ago that's when I first discovered FX, the K-pop group, right? And then I had this big FX thing for a long time, and I still like them, but they've broken up since then. The next time that I was bedridden is when I was having heart issues. But that's when I discovered Marilyn, and I'm still a fan of hers. But it's funny because I'm not a fan of Marilyn as much as I'm a fan of Norma Jean, the person behind Marilyn. If that makes sense.
Marilyn only sang one song, and that was "Happy Birthday, Mr. President."
No, she sang a lot of different songs. I have an album of hers. Really? Yeah.
No shit. That I didn't know.
Yeah, and what's really crazy is somewhere out there, there's an unreleased album of hers somewhere out there, because there was a bunch of demos that she did for records, and then she actually had people listen to them like, what do you think? Because she was going to try to go that avenue. And a lot of people were just like, I don't know about this, Marilyn. You know, and she got really offended. But somewhere out there are these demos.
You know what? She needed Mutt Lange.
Yeah, she did. If she
had Mutt Lange, she'd have been famous. Hey, I want to ask you something.
She was famous.
Okay, yeah. Where's that one-piece guitar?
I sold it. I sold it already.
You did?
Yeah. It was a guy from the Czech Republic that purchased it.
Holy shit! Are you kidding me? Really?
Mm-hmm.
What did it cost?
I don't know. He had a connection here where he wanted me to send it to somebody that was close by in California, and then they were going to get it to him. Okay. So I don't know. And then a a lot of orders I get are from overseas.
Well, what are you working on? What are you working on now? What do you got for sale now? Show me something.
I don't have anything for sale at this moment, but the next guitar that will be for sale is going to be the guitar that should not be.
Well, I wanted to have an auction.
You want to have an auction?
Yeah, we're going to auction off one of your guitars.
How convenient. It's like, it's my guitar. They're like, $10, $15, sold for $15. Be like, well, thanks.
No. We'd set a
minimum.
Yeah. A reserve. We set a reserve, and that might not be a bad idea, Will.
That's true, but the only thing is if somebody says, okay, it's sold or whatever like that, there's nothing to back it up. Anybody could say, yeah.
They got to have. They've got to have the money to you within 24, 48 hours. You say the money 24, 48 hours, or deals off. When I got the money in hand, you'll get. I'll guarantee shipping.
Well, I was doing a thing where it's just kind of like, you guys, you tell me what you think it's worth. You email me, and then whoever has the best offer is who I get.
And you're going to get the lowballed shit.
You get lowball. I mean, you get lowball, but the lowest that anybody, like on the last couple that I had ever done, the lowest that I had seen was like, I think it was 800, and that was like the lowest. And then that was for the one piece. And so I'm like, for a one piece, I'm like, that's just too cheap. It's just too cheap for a one piece.
That's still pretty low for what it is, but I would pay that. Well, it's way better. Right now, I wouldn't pay nothing because I can't. But
that's like me. I'm broke as a motherfucker. So It's like as soon as I get the money, it's already gone. It's already going to the bill collectors.
I'm so broke. My wife is my toy, and I broke her.
She's a broker.
No, I broke her. I broke my toy.
Oh, you broke your toy. Yeah, there was something.
I'm so broke, I had to cut holes in my pocket so I had something to play with.
There you go. There you go. Pocket pool. Right ball corner pocket. There was something I was going to mention to you.
I'm so broke, I'm smoking OPs. Other people's.
Oh, there you go. There was something like a week ago I was going to mention to you, and I forgot what the fuck it was.
Oh, well, that must have been important.
Well, I forget a lot of shit nowadays. I'm fucking getting old.
Vince, I'm talking to a guy in the chat. Vince, I have tried to hook up with female vocalists, and we ran across one that would actually be freaking awesome. And her name happens to be Linda. But she does a karaoke thing where her husband plays the music for her and she sings, and she will not bail off that. And I can't really blame her, because her and her husband put all the money in their pocket. And so why would she want to get in a band where she's not guaranteed that she's going to make the money in a 4-piece situation as she will with just her and her husband going out and him spinning the music on a karaoke machine or whatever and her singing. And she came and sang with us a couple times, and we backed her up, and they were like freebies. And she's just freaking phenomenal. But she doesn't want to bail off that thing. And then we've ran into a couple other ones where we go hear them, and for 1 or 2 songs they'd sound like, wow, this chick's really good. And then they do something that you just go, and then you go like, well, I really can't lay that on her because we do that too. We'll play something that's decent, and we'll turn around and just play an absolute fucking clam. Where the crowd just goes. So you can't fault them for that, but then there's always issues. Well, I don't like to play, more than once or twice a month. Yeah, we play 4 nights a week. Oh, I don't like to do anything, when on Saturdays because I've got my kid, and it's like, well, whatever, So finding that female vocalist that we could back, that we could meet heads with, and that one Linda would have been great because she does the type of music we do and everything. But she won't bail off. She won't bail off her karaoke thing, and I really don't blame her. I can't blame her at all. She goes, "I'll come and help you out anytime you want." It's like,
I had always told myself that if I ended up starting a band or whatever, and I was looking for a lead singer, I would hit the gay bars on karaoke night, and then that's where I'd find my singer, because it just seems to me that gay guys a lot of times, man, if you can find one that sings.
But you live in San Diego. See, I live in Ashtabula, where all the right-wing rednecks, they beat all the gay bars. They closed them all up.
Oh, you're going to have to find that closet case.
That's a joke.
You're going to have to find that closet case redneck.
I have to find that closet case redneck gay guy.
Yeah.
The
guy that winks at you and goes, you want to go ride a horse?
Yeah.
You want to ride a horse?
Y'all want to go tip some cows?
Yeah, exactly. Be like, what's the winking about? Oh, I think he knows how to sing.
Hey, y'all like doing catfishing at night?
Catfishing, there you go. Yeah, because I mean, the thing is I sit back and I think about all of the great musicians, or I should say singers and musicians, that are they're gay guys.
Zip just hit it. Having a band is like babysitting, and that's why I play with Linda, because when she started to teach herself to play the guitar, I didn't take it serious. I was like, yeah, right. You know? And then I'd come home from work, and there she is banging and banging and banging until where finally I went, well, I got to pay attention a little bit. And I started playing with her and going over songs. We'd go to open mics. You all know the story and how it all came up. And the other guy, the drummer that I play with, I've known this guy for almost 40 years that we played together off and on throughout our life. And we've never had a problem, ever had a problem. As a matter of fact, the only problem we ever had in a band were our ex-wives, his and mine. One time, his ex-wife and my ex-wife started fighting with each other. It ended the band. We weren't allowed to play with each other anymore because our wives couldn't stand each other. So now, you know, playing with Linda, she's the easiest person in the world to work with because she's so dedicated and loves what she's doing so much. And, you know, if you watch any of our videos, there's only one person on stage that dances when they play, and that's her. I don't do it anymore. For one, I can't get my legs to move, but you can tell her heart's in it, that she loves it so much that it's moving her. And it changed the game, you know, as far as that part of it. But the bullshit of running around trying to find a guy, that's what happened to our first drummer. You know, we had to provide everything. I had to feed the guy. I had to clothe him. I had to buy him a phone. I had to buy him 2 drum sets. I had to give him a ride because he hadn't driven in 30 years.
Were you able to claim him on your taxes?
You know, we actually talked about that. I mean, that fucking came up. Linda was like one time, he's like a kid. We should be able to claim him. And then he got shitty. He got shitty because things weren't going his way, and I was like, all right, I've had enough. You know, finally it came to a head, and I said, Wally, you know, we do everything in the world for you, and then you cop an attitude, and it was over something really, really silly, and he dared me to replace him. You'll never replace me. I made one phone call because I knew my buddy Fred was getting ready to retire, and he had just gotten divorced. And was living on his own. And I thought, I think Fred's going to be ready. And he jumped on it so fast. And for the last 4 years, he's been our drummer. He's now been our drummer longer than the old drummer was our drummer. And the old drummer said, we'd never find anybody.
Well, that's when you show up with a drum machine and say, nice knowing you.
Yeah, well, right. The thing about Wally, though, was he was very, very versatile. I mean, if you handed him a pair of brushes or drumsticks, he could play fucking newspaper. He'd literally stack up newspaper and magazines and make a drum set out of it. And it was like, hey, that's all we need. You could give him drywall buckets in a cardboard box and he could make it work. It's a shame for him that he couldn't keep his head right. He just couldn't keep his head right. And I wonder about the guy now because I've known him for years and years and years, and he's lived in his mom's basement, and his mother passed, and his sister got the house, you know, a long, long time ago. And the last I heard, they were actually condemning houses on that street, and that house probably could have been one of them because it was in bad shape. She actually had a lawyer tell her don't pay the mortgage because the city's going to condemn it. So I don't know. I haven't been over there. I've been to that side of town. I don't know whatever happened to him. He doesn't have any. He doesn't have Facebook or a computer or internet. He had a track phone that I bought him so I could keep keep in contact with him when I needed him. But for the most part, he just stayed with us. Yeah, Roland, you can replace anybody with a Roland zip, almost. But that's not what we want. And Fred's a really good guy. Just we want a new direction, new people, new sound. Hey, Will, I see 3 of your friends have thumbed me down now.
Who?
I don't know. It has to be 3 of them. I got 3 thumbs down. They got to be.
Oh, well, it could be just one person with 3 accounts.
Or it could be that. Could be that. Yep.
Well, something. It's like there's no such thing as bad. What they call it, bad publicity. All right. It's interaction. It's the hecklers.
Do you know what's funny? And I know you've gone through this. The day that you refuse to let YouTube keep you up at night is the game changer.
Yeah.
The day that you go, I don't give a fuck.
Well, what happens is we become too immersed in it, and then it becomes too real. And then, but it's really, at the end of the day, it's just a bunch of silly, stupid shit. And then, as soon as you can just kind of sit back and just take it for what it really is. But for a while there, I was immersed in it, and then I was taking it too serious and shit. And it was almost like I was having a difficult time separating that from reality.
You and me both, buddy. And then life goes.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, wake up! You got shit to do.
Yeah, but what's the thing is I also think that this is one of the problems and it's not just like with us with having channels, but I think this is what's happening with a lot of the younger generation too with social media, is they can't separate it from reality, and this is why there's so many of them that are all disturbed and shit, and then they're having so many issues because almost all of their social interaction is happening online now. It's all digital. And people are saying, I've got 1,000 friends.
They don't know how to approach somebody for a job.
No, they don't.
They don't know how to go out and actually get involved in a community. I mean, I'm old now. I'm not out to make any new. Well, I am in a way, but I'm going to rely on old connections, and I'm going to rely on what I've built up over the years. But they don't have that, and they won't get it the way we got it. I mean, the way we got it, we're putting feet on the pavement and walking through the door.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way we got it. And
that's what's so funny is because when I was looking for work, I was having a really hard time because the first thing is you don't interact with
your channel.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, the thing is that's one thing I had to worry about too, is like them doing a search for me. But the thing is there's no interaction with the people that actually do the hiring, except it's all digital. So it's like just upload your fucking resume, fill this shit out, and then they start parsing it and they look for keywords. And I had to dumb my resume down because I couldn't even get anybody to call me back. And I dumbed it down, and then I started getting calls. And then from there, it's like finally you end up getting an interview. And I'm just like, man, you guys make it so fucking difficult to get a job. Back in the day, I would literally walk into a store and say, can I speak to the person in charge of hiring and firing? And then they'd say, sure, it's this guy. And I'd talk to him, and then within 5-10 minutes, I'd have a job.
Yeah, they'd go, here, fill out an application. It's a formality. I got to have it. And you'd be here Monday. See,
Yeah,
that's where I'm lucky. If it ever actually came to it, I've got a couple friends that I could go to, and I go, dude, can I wash dishes? And they'd be like, fucking glad to have you.
Mm-hmm.
And I could walk into a job and be that is what it may, washing dishes, bussing tables, whatever the fuck.
Well, this
resort, I live in a fucking resort, and those service jobs are there. Mm-hmm. And I know enough people that if I got to that point,
well, when I first started,
I could do that.
Yeah, when I first started looking for work, there were people that were willing to hire me back in the construction trade again, starting at 32 an hour. And I told them that it's like, I'll do it if I absolutely have to, but I really don't want to relive that part of my life again. And then so I was offered a job that was a little bit more than minimum wage out here. And it was something that was completely different than everything else that I've ever done. And I'm like, but there's room to move up. And they're like, yeah. And I said, you know something, I'm willing to do this because I just don't want to get back into fucking construction again. I really don't. I mean, I know that I could.
I wouldn't mind it. I wouldn't mind it. I would actually enjoy it, but my body can't deliver.
Oh, well, things out here have changed a lot. Like in the construction trade, it's changed. California is horrible when it comes to construction. But I mean, I could just reactivate my license, get my bond again, and then I could be up and running again within just a few months if I wanted. But I don't want to do that. I mean, it's one of those things. It's more than money. It has, you know, I mean, it's like I need money, but it's like, but at what cost? You know what I mean? I just don't want to do it anymore.
Yeah. Well, and then there's work like that. You have there's a certain element of responsibility to where you're the last guy that has to answer for it. If you work for somebody else, say at a restaurant, at a factory, whatever, you go in, you put your time in, you fucking leave. If you want to, that can be the end of it for the day. You know, and if they run into any problems, now if you're a person like me who would always get a little bit more extra involved in my work, you know, and I would, and even my last factory job, there would be that occasional phone call at night after I came home from second shift going, hey, Ed, what do we do about this? And I would go, all right, I'll come in. I'll run up there for 10 minutes because it's only 5 minutes from my house. I'll run in. I'll show you what to do, where to put the shit, what to do. I'll move this for you, move this for you. And I could actually go punch in for a half an hour, you know, and do it. But if I chose to, I could have just not.
Right.
You know, nope. It's 3:30. I'm done. I'm going home. I'll see you tomorrow morning, and that's the end of it. And you don't have to worry about it. When you're doing construction, there's always that phone call after while you're eating dinner. Hey, I noticed this nail sticking out of the wall that my dog might catch his leg on. And it's like,
yeah. Well, I mean, the thing is the job that I have now, I'm part of management. So because of that, when I come home, sometimes I still end up getting text or phone calls. And it's usually the other person that is taking my place going, hey, what's going on with this? What happened here? There was somebody that came in, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, oh yeah, I thought I told you about this, or I thought I lined so-and-so out. And then the biggest thing I would say is this, though. I'm constantly having to fill in for other people. Because like if somebody calls in, it's like it always falls on management to fill in.
That's the norm now. You know, that's the way things have changed. It used to be if you missed work, we were afraid to call in.
I know you'd get fired.
We'd go to work dying because we would be afraid to get like fired.
Let me. You know what's hilarious about this? I was talking to one of my superiors about this recently because there was somebody that they were scheduled to work.
Wait, I got to answer. Squire Telecaster asked, "Hey guys, how many subscribers do you need to make a living in YouTube? You need 90 million.
All of them. You need all of them.
All of them. 90 million.
It's not the subscribers anymore. It's all about views. There's some people that only have 8,000 subscribers, but for whatever reason, their videos keep getting 1 million views.
Yeah.
And that blows my mind. I don't know how the fuck nobody's subscribing to them. But it's all about the views. It has really nothing to do with your subscriber base. I have 116,000 subscribers, and I average somewhere between 3,000 and 7,000 views per, which means I'm somewhere between 3% and 7%. And if you end up looking at a lot of the other people in the guitar community, you're going to end up seeing some people even have lower than that. And I'm just like, I don't understand it. People that have good channels, and I think really what it is that the market is flooded with guitar shit, and the guitar industry is flopping. There's no money to do advertising, so there's no ads to put on. And because of that, everybody's on YouTube is eventually going to go in the guitar area. So if you want to make money on YouTube, do not do it through guitar or music. Find something else that's trending.
Kitty cats, anime,
cosplay and makeup are always going to be big. And if you act like you're a gay guy or you're a trans man and you do makeup, you are going to have 1.5 million subscribers in 2 months. If you act like you're a gay guy or you are a trans guy that does makeup, you will end up having tons of views and everything like that.
What's that again?
Oh, trans makeup artist.
I got to write this down.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. The thing is makeup sells, and makeup is
everybody,
right? And so it reaches a huge demographic. It also reaches the demographic that most YouTubers, the age group, right? And then since trans and gay is trending, it's a beautiful combination.
Norco Local says that the hot girls that shred bank. I'm going to stuff a couple balloons in my shirt and put a wig on and get some makeup. I'd actually need plastic surgery, though. I'm so fucking.
Well, no, what you need is Photoshop, and then you just need some
Photoshop.
Yeah, the After Effects or whatever. The thing is this: the girls that look good that end up shredding, what they're selling is sex. They're not selling talent.
Titties.
Yeah, I mean, because the reality is some of them are very good at what they're doing, but at the same time, if it was just an ugly guy doing it, would they have the same views?
Nope.
No, they wouldn't. So really, it's the sex that's selling.
Yeah.
And God bless them, because that's capitalism at its finest. Give me 1 second.
It's a sad reality that us old guys, we're never gonna. That's never gonna happen for us. I'm 60 fucking years old. I got to find a niche of 60-year-olds that like me. Ed in a thong. Yeah, thanks, Zip. You don't want to see that, buddy. You don't want to see that. But I will. I'm not lying. I'll click on those videos of those girls playing the guitar because I want to see them play the good. I want to see them. Well,
there's a lot of good female guitarists out there, and then what's really interesting is even though they're playing fast and everything, there's still something feminine about the tone of what they're doing. You can tell when it's a female playing.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that like it's less than or whatever. It's just got that female twist. It's almost like when you look at handwriting, you can tell a man's from a woman's. Right? You can tell.
I don't remember the song. What was the song? Oh, it was LaGrange. And it was Billy Gibbons, another guy named ZZ something that I'd never heard of, Joe Bonamassa, Warren Haynes, and Orianthi.
Yeah, I saw that one.
And they point around the solos. And when Orianthi came on, it was like, that's a girl. Mm-hmm. She's playing it, those little spider fingers spidering up there with that little feminine touch.
It has a certain.
Oh, it was ZZ Top. Yeah, no.
It has a certain feminine quality to it. I mean, it's like I said, it's not less than or anything like that. It's just it's different. And I don't know. I mean, it's one of those things where I appreciate, I appreciate that there's something out there that's different and they're breaking the mold and all that stuff. But I'm also trying to be practical at the same time and realistic. And that is, like I said, all you have to do is just picture is that if it was a fat, ugly guy, would there be the same level of fame? And the answer is no. So it's not talent.
Squire Telecaster. Exactly. And I tried that with my Oreo cookie review. And I never saw a video fall so flat as my Oreo cookie review. And I thought just because Oreo cookies in the title that I should get views just because of that. Wrong.
Mm-mm.
Wrong.
No, because it's also because the algorithm also looks at the history of your past videos and does it have something to do with your you know what I mean? So that's not going to work out. Because I mean, it's just like when I end up doing certain videos, I'm thinking, well, this has got a good message in it, and it'll be like at the end of 2 days, 6 people have viewed your video. And it's like, well, fuck, what's the point of even doing the video if no one's going to see it? What's the point? I'm just talking to a camera at that point.
Yeah. And all that aside, basically, really, I've given up. I don't care. I don't give a shit anymore. I do it now to pass time. Like I said, I'm bored. I'm bored with YouTube. I'm bored with TV. I'm bored with what we're playing. We've been doing it for 7 years. I'm bored with it. I'm bored with the way things are going. I need something new. And watching reviews of guitars and guitar pedals, even all the Gibson shit, when all the Gibson shit happened, I was like, yeah, so what? Who didn't see that coming?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we've just been waiting for that fucking shoe to drop for. People have been bitching about Gibson for 100 freaking years. And I made that video about your Les Paul worship is boring and pretentious, and I'm sorry, it is.
Mm-hmm.
And not to everybody. Not to everybody, to me. And if you want my view, you've got to do more than just talk about the new Les Paul you bought. Because
well, it's funny because today there was a video, I haven't posted it, and I was going to bring this up, but it even though I was bringing it up on a different level, it pertains to this. And it has to do with the fact that one of the problems that human beings have is they put their identity, or they identify with things externally, things that are not them. And then so what happens is they see that as part of their identity. So if somebody ends up collecting Gibsons, or they like Gibsons, or they have a Gibson guitar, whatever, for whatever reason, it almost becomes part of their ego. And then they see like there's a certain level of their identity is attached to that guitar. So if you end up attacking Gibson, or you attack that, they're going to feel like you're attacking them personally.
yes.
And it's strange because it's a certain level of delusion involved in that. When you start thinking that this particular inanimate object that's completely separate from me, somehow I'm attached to, and that's part of me, that's strange, that's weird, that's delusion, that's insanity. And almost all human beings do it. I know I've done it in the past.
Well, I've always been more about wanting to see people play. And Joe Bonamassa will do that. There's no doubt about it. He's probably one of the biggest Les Paul freaking collectors in the world.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't know who's bigger right now on social media with his collection of guitars than Joe Bonamassa. But he puts these Instagram and Twitter videos and Facebook things out where it's just him sitting in his kitchen for a minute and a half, just fucking shredding on it. And that's it. There's no discussion. There might be Joe Bonamassa on a 69 Les Paul Custom. in the description, and that's it. You know, he's not discussing it or holding it up or showing it, or it's him shredding it. And it's like, okay, that's cool. You know, because I can watch that and I can even learn a lick. You know, I can even get a lick off that. I'm not going to get any real info on the guitar. All I'm going to get is an eyeball on it. And sure, I know, yeah, it's a 69 Les Paul. It's a 59 Les Paul. It's worth $250,000. I'll never have one. Well, but the fact that he's actually playing the goddamn thing.
I think that one of the reasons why you may be feeling bored with a lot of stuff is because we're not allowed to really be creative anymore. We're not allowed to be original anymore. We're constantly walking on eggshells. Everybody's judging us. If you try to do anything different, you say the wrong thing, whatever, it's almost like you're being punished for it. It's like, and you don't get any go-backs. You can't, and an apology doesn't work. None of that shit works. So it's like you're constantly just doing everything you can just to try to appease everybody and not say the wrong thing or do the wrong thing. And it never used to be like that.
Wait a minute. Hold the phone. I have to say hello to Johnny Bean. Johnny Bean, you are one of my YouTube heroes. You're actually one of the few guys I watch. I am so honored to have you here. And yes, I would like to see your fish sandwich. Johnny. But I'm not afraid to do anything, but I just don't. What do I got? You know, it's the same old, same old.
Well, that's true. I mean, the thing is that the market on YouTube for the guitar stuff has been flooded. And the reason why it got flooded is because YouTube made it too. YouTube is they want content that they can advertise on, and that's the only thing that matters. It doesn't matter if it's good content or anything. It's just what can we put advertisements on? And if you give them that, then they will end up promoting the videos, and all of a sudden you become popular. And it has nothing to do with the quality of the content anymore. Everything has changed. And you say the wrong thing just once, and it doesn't even have anything to do with even the people viewing, because everything that you do in your videos, it gets parsed. And then YouTube knows every word for word, and it looks for keywords. And if you say the wrong thing just once, that's it. That's the end of your channel. It's done.
I obviously keep saying the wrong thing.
Yeah.
It's apparent. Johnny Bean trying to type on his matchbook. He must have a MacBook Pro. Oh, MacBook. Why would it be difficult to type on a MacBook? That should be like the smoothest thing in the world to type on.
When you said a MacBook Pro, I'm thinking, what? He's too good for fucking Hot Wheels?
Yeah, Hot Wheels. I had a hell of a Hot Wheels collection, and my mother gave it to my nephew, which I wanted to kill her. Oh, so
favorite good. Hot Wheels were the ones that you could pull back, and it would wind up that fucking spring, and you'd shoot down the track and do the fucking.
Never had any of them, man. I had all the original ones from the late 60s, early 70s.
Oh, mine were.
I remember the first one I got, I can't remember what the model was. The second one I got was called the Silhouette. It had the bubble top.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And that was one of the earliest Hot Wheels. And I had this huge Hot Wheels collection. And I was a late teenager, like 18, 19 years old. And she gave my Hot Wheel collection to my nephew because she was cleaning out closets.
Because I remember, like, when I was growing up, we were really poor, and I got a Hot Wheels car. But we were so poor, it got repoed. And so that was a lame joke. But it's okay. It's a tough audience.
Zip, I don't know why your screws and bolts video would have killed you. It's the truth. You know, there's a difference between a wood screw and a machine screw and a bolt. And I've actually there are bolt-on necks. I had to tell you this because I've got the bolt kits. If I can find the bolt kits. Well, I don't have them handy, but there are, you can order bolt kits where, you know, you can actually use a machine. It's still called a machine screw, though.
Mhm.
Damn. It's such a tricky area. But, you know, it's the guitar community is a very, very saturated, competitive market, and you have to find your niche. Like Johnny Bean, him and his guys, they've got a niche where they're into a certain type of guitars, a certain type of music, a certain type of playing. And I've never really been able to narrow it down like that. You know, I've always kind of tried to go for the older crowd but I've got to realize that my audience is dying.
Well, mine's getting there. So
they're literally dying.
My demographics are, most of them, it's between the ages of like 30 and like 65 and shit. You know, and I think it's one of those things where you can identify with a generation or two ahead of you and a generation or two behind you. But anything other than that, it's just, there's so much daylight between you guys. It's just, there's no connection. And I think that's what it is. And it's, you know, of course, there's ways to overcome that. But I think a lot of times, I mean, let's face it. I mean, you know, if you're a young kid or whatever, you know, and you see some old guy or whatever going, hey, I'm going to teach you some music that I used to listen to. You know, here's something from like the big band. You're like, oh, fuck this guy. You're looking for the modern shit because you want to play stuff to impress the modern day girls.
Yeah.
You're not trying to impress your mother or your grandmother.
Yeah.
You know, that's the problem.
And with all the note Nazis and the theory guys out there, it's hard to get across the way like I learned to play guitar was just grinding it out by ear and picking things up from people where I could, you know, where I remember a guy pulling a gun on me one time over what chord to play in Born to Be Wild. And the guy pulled a fucking pistol on me and pointed at me and said, you're going to play it my fucking way or you're out of here. And I was like, hey, see you later, pal.
You're like, so what was that C7 chord again?
It was the Jimi Hendrix chord. I wanted this chord and he wanted E7. And I went, no, it's got to be. And you know, and it was like he went and got his .22 revolver and come back and pointed it at me, and I was like, God damn, you know.
Well, anything worth doing is worth doing right.
To make a long story short, or to tell a dumb story, this guy, they put him on lithium. And it straightened him out. He stopped doing that kind of shit. And then he died of a brain tumor.
So there was a guy that had a brain tumor on lithium that
I'm not lying. It's
I'm not saying you are, but when you add it all together, it makes more sense.
You can't make this shit up. And he actually was a good guy, but he just before he got treatment, you never knew what he was going to do.
Mm-hmm.
And his ex-wife at the time warned me. She goes, he'll be fine 1 minute, man, and then next minute he's not so fine, and you never know what he's going to do because he gets violent.
I thought you were going to say that his ex-wife warned me. She's like, listen, learn the E7.
Well, I knew it E7, I just didn't agree with it, you know.
Mhm. Well, people want to hear what they're going to hear, you know. I still have that glass, by the way, but I can't drink beer anymore because of the sulfites in it. It started getting to me where I could have one and I'd feel like I drank 12, and then I'd have a hangover.
Well, then you might as well go ahead and just drink 12.
36, right? I mean, no, I mean, it fucks me up real bad. So then I had no choice but to switch over to fucking whiskey and vodka because there's no sulfites in distilled. So that's what this is right here. This is fucking fruit juice and vodka. And fruit juice because I'm a fruit, you know, because if you're drinking a foo-foo drink, you're a fucking fruit, you know.
I don't, just because of the situation with what is going on here, for the last almost 2 years, I've had to be really, really alert and had to back off everything. And I have gotten such a sweet tooth.
Oh, yeah.
That it's like if we go out someplace and they go, you want a mixed drink? You want a drink? What do you want? I have a brandy Alexander.
Yeah, exactly. And first send out Alexander and then brandy.
Give me something fruity with an umbrella in it.
Mm-hmm.
And put that extra dash of fruity in.
Go over to the jukebox and put on a little Liberace.
Yeah. You know, it just, it was like the Oreo cookie thing. I'm sitting there stuffing Oreo cookies in my face going, this would be
well, you know, I wonder if it's you're trying to compensate for a certain depletion or something like insulin. You know?
Well, that's absolutely it. There's a lot of sugar, like in whiskey or in beer, and I never drank whiskey, but like all alcohol has a lot of sugar.
Oh, alcohol in itself is sugar that just hasn't been converted yet. I have to get more sugar.
Okay. So yeah, you do. You know, if you're not, and beer also is loaded with carbohydrates. So if you're drinking, you know, 5, 6, 10 beers, if all of a sudden you're not doing that, you have to replace that intake with something. Whether it be tuna fish sandwiches, Oreo cookies, or, you know, you've got to replace it with something. You've got to replace that. Hey, Poo Ninja, thank you for stopping in. Cancer loves sugar. I don't like the sound of that. Yeah, Mitch, you can find a lot of people playing everything a lot of different ways, but that's the beauty of music. You know, there's no one way to play anything on the guitar, and that's there is no right and wrong way to play something when you get down to the artsy part of it. If you want to be a note Nazi and a theory guy, yeah, they can tell you, oh, no, you missed the flat 9 major 7 3rd 15th over the square root of the, you know, but when it comes to the art of playing it, just bend up a half step.
Well, you know, I think a way for people that don't really know what you're saying, maybe to describe it, is almost kind of like the way that a director or an actor interprets a part. And then like later on, somebody else will end up doing the same movie, but different director, different actors, the way that they interpret the character and they direct it is completely different. And there's going to be some people say, oh, I hate this because they didn't do it exactly like the first movie. He didn't say it exactly like the first actor. And they get used to that, thinking it has to be exactly like the first.
Yeah. And now a good example of that is I watched the trailer today for Jumanji with Jack Black and The Rock. And it's nothing
like the first,
like the original, because he gets sucked in through a video game. And it's even got, you know, who plays The Rock as an old man? Danny DeVito.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, Danny DeVito's in it. So it's not going to be anything like the original, but you know the idea is there. But that there are certain things about a song that I like to see remain intact.
Mm-hmm.
But you know there is leeway.
Well, it's just like
they
when
are open to interpretation. It's just how far do you take it until it's no longer the original idea that captured you in the first place? When
right.
does it lose its charm for what it was to where you've totally rewritten it and, you know, almost it's like you really can't even reference it back. That can happen.
Well, it's just like, but it's just like how there's sometimes you'll have the original artist do a live performance and then they change it up too. They're not even playing it like the record. I mean, they play it in different spots. They'll play different solo. They do everything different. And it's an original artist.
Well, that's like another guitar channel was talking the other night about, you know, how people love Steely Dan and how then you go to their concert and then they just play whatever the fuck they want. And you don't hear anything of what you heard on the original recording. You don't hear the solos. You don't hear the harmonies. You don't hear anything. It's just like, yeah, you know, you record it this way and you drag everybody in. Then you go play live and you just play whatever you want. You know, that in to even now they just did a survey. They rated all of the Grateful Dead records, and they all came in last.
Huh.
You
got to be high to fucking enjoy it.
You were supposed to laugh. You were supposed to explode into laughter and glee at that joke.
Well, I told the joke earlier about Hot Wheels that didn't go over real well, so this is just my...
It's retribution.
Yeah, because my joke about being so poor that they repoed my Hot Wheels car, I didn't even get a giggle, nothing. So I mean, it's like the least I could do is like if on this one I have to be bold-faced, like, sorry, I don't get it.
I don't get it. That might be a good name for my next band is Retribution. I'll fix you fuckers.
Or
you thought we sucked before? Get a load of this.
I think that you would get a lot more, like, I don't want to say views, but you'd have a lot more attention brought to you if the next band was called Crib Death. Crib Death would bring a lot. And then your first album could be Womb Service. And then the title track could be No Fetus Can Beat Us. Yeah, we're working on it.
There's a what do they call when you signify something with letters? Not a synonym.
I was going to say nomenclature, but it's not nomenclature. It is. It's the. Oh fuck! You got me doing this. It's the.
Well, there is one for sudden childbirth.
It's not an anagram. It's not an anagram. That's when it's backwards, right?
No, that's a palindrome. God, we're dumb motherfuckers. Let's stop.
Palindrome. Right now. That's a palindrome.
Stop right now. Stop right now.
It's God damn it. Anyway. So anyway, I enjoy getting old. How about you?
Yeah. Huh? I think I wet myself.
Fucking.
But anyway, acronym. An acronym.
Acronym, yeah. I'll remember that. I was going to say, I was going to remember it in about 7 hours when I'm doing something else.
SID. Sudden, sudden infant death, yeah. We just call it band SIDS.
SIDS. People were like, yeah, I know that guy.
Thank you, Squire. Squire, the only one that has his mental faculties still intact, is Squire Telecaster. Dante, yes, guitarists are supposed to interpret and play with their own flair. You know, and when you think back at the time I spent dropping the needle to try to get that solo just perfect, and in the end went, oh, fuck it. You know, this sounds close enough.
Well, one of the problems, though, I mean, and you know this more than anybody, is when people go to see a live band and they hear covers, they want to hear it just like the fucking album. They don't want to hear any new shit. They don't want to hear your original crap. The only thing they want to hear is the fucking, when they say, hey, play Freebird, Ed, they want to hear Freebird exactly like it's like on the record.
But the trick to that is if you just keep the lyrics intact, and you sing it right, then you can get away with a lot. If you don't, if you don't just go totally out on a limb, but if you keep the lyrics intact, because that's what people, not musicians, your average winery bar guy listener, they remember the lyrics. And this is what I tell young musicians is learn songs. Okay? Throw your fucking book away. Get that fucking book off the stage where you're flipping through pages of shit, or you're making a video and you've got a book in front of you and you're reading the fucking lyrics. Learn the goddamn lyrics. If you learn the lyrics, you will learn the arrangement. You'll know it. And that is key. And that's an easy thing. It's not that difficult if you listen to a song long enough or enough times, it doesn't even take that. A trick I used to use to memorize lyrics was write them down one time. That's all it took. Drop the needle, start the tape, get that first verse, write it down. Go to the next one, write it down. Go to the next one, write it down. By the time you're done writing out the lyrics to that song, you know it probably 80% better than you did before you did that. And then after reading it and practicing it a few times, you got it. And the other thing I tell practicing people is don't stop and correct mistakes.
Oh, yeah.
Keep going. Just keep playing. When you're playing live, you don't have time to go, oops, wait, go back. I didn't sing that right. Or I didn't play that right. You have to keep going. Play through to the end. Get it next time.
The song
going.
The song that I've always had the hardest time learning the lyrics to, I did what you did. I wrote everything down. Still don't know it. Is Tequila, and I can't figure out the words to that goddamn song, no matter how hard I try.
Da 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 da. Jack Daniel. No, that ain't right. Da 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 da. Bud White. No, that ain't right. Da, 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 da.
Yeah, that one fucks with me. And Surfing Bird is another one. Surfing Bird from the Trashmen, I told, I don't think anybody's going to do it, but I told my sister and I told
bird is a bird, is a bird is a word, it's a bird.
I said, when I'm fucking dead, at my funeral, this is the song I want to have played because it's going to throw everybody for a loop. Because, most of the time it's the organ music and all this other shit. And can you imagine, it's kind of, you're sitting there like, yeah, I missed a guy too. And all of a sudden, I want everybody to say, about the back.
Think back. Is there ever a song that you listened to that affected you emotionally so much that it made you cry?
Yes. I don't even have to think back. It happened no more than 3 days ago. I don't even have to think back about it.
What was it? The Ramones?
No, it was one that I wrote.
Okay, all right.
I talked to you about this. I talked to you and Duncan about this probably like 2 or 3 years ago, and I said I can't even get through the song, and I'm still trying to finish it and record it, but I can't.
All right, you had mentioned to me recently that your nephew had come across the Marty Robbins song called "They're Hanging Me Tonight."
Right? Yeah, yeah. He likes that one.
Well, there's another song by him called "The Master's Call," and I can do it now with no problem. But when I first learned that song, I could not get through it without getting emotional,
Mm-hmm.
and it was the stupidest thing, really. But it was because I've known that song for so long and and read my own meaning into the lyric that getting through that song was tough. And there are other songs too. There are other songs too that have done that to me.
There's one
There's
song.
usually a moment associated, like it would affect me now at this moment, where at this other moment it wouldn't. But there are other songs, like you say, my brother has a song that he wrote and recorded about his deceased wife, and hearing her voice in his sleep breaks me down. And I've had that happen to me. And I don't want to get into this too much, but well, Linda is no longer vocal. Okay,
Right.
she can't talk.
Right.
And recently I had a dream where I heard her voice loud and clear, and it woke me up, and it was like, wow.
See, what's fucked up about this is part of me wonders if you're fucking trolling me on this. And the reason why.
Oh no.
Okay, no, the reason why is because the name of the song that I wrote that I can't get through is called "In My Dreams," and it has to do, well, it has to do with a miscarriage.
I remember.
Yeah, and so yeah, and then that's why I'm like, are you fucking trolling me because you're bringing up dreams and you're bringing all this stuff?
No.
And it's weird that almost all of them have something to do with the dream.
Because that to say something like that I'm never going to hear that voice natural again.
Isn't it on tapes or something though? I mean,
yes, I have it. Absolutely, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But that is just something that when that happens, and dreams can be weird. They can be vivid.
Mm-hmm.
They can be real. And I actually know people that tell me they never dream, and it's like
They're full of shit. They just don't remember it.
they just don't remember.
They just don't remember it. I mean, yeah, and but one thing that I should say is this, and that is there's way more to Linda than her voice, and her voice is not her. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like
no, right? No.
Wouldn't focus too much.
Exactly. She gets her point across.
The whole fungu thing. Yeah, it's like, do you want me to shave my beard? What is this? I want to shave my beard? Yeah, give me 1 second.
Oh, a Squire Telecaster is asking, Will, have you ever had a music gig? Stevie Ray Vaughan, Life Without You. Ooh. Yeah, right. When you could buy an album and the lyrics were in the liner. I mean, I lived for that. And the album art. But the more that came on that liner jacket, the better. Squire Telecaster is asking if you've ever had a music gig.
No. All of my stuff on stage is doing stand-up. I've never performed with an instrument in front of a group of people. The only time I've ever performed in front of people is doing stand up.
You performed in front of people on YouTube. That's the same thing, really.
Well, yeah, but you're not getting the live feedback. You know what I mean? To me, I mean, like when I stop and I think about having to pick up a guitar and play in front of people, that would make me a nervous fucking wreck compared to.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce to you live Will Galvin. Get your guitar, buddy.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Is like if it was like get up there and play that fucking song, I would be a nervous wreck. If somebody said get up there,
you used to do karaoke.
I've sang in front of a lot of people, but that's not playing a fucking goddamn guitar in front of a lot of people.
You're a good guitar player. I mean, because you've never played in a band is just because you didn't. That was the choice. It wasn't something either you didn't want to do it or it just whatever. But you're absolutely qualified to do it. I mean, there's no question about that.
I've never. There was a time that I wanted to be in a band and I wanted to be the guitarist, but this is also during the time that I wanted to be the next Eddie Van Halen, right? And there were people that said, "Yeah, I'll be in the band with you, but you don't have any gear, and you don't know how to play." And, and it's kind of like, well, I'll learn how to play bass or I'll learn how to do the drums. And I'm like, you're not just going to pick up drums and learn how to do it like in a fucking couple days. You know what I mean? And then like there was people that wanted to say that they were in a band and to I guess have the celebrity status of being in a band, but nobody ever wanted to fucking actually put the effort in, buy the gear, show up for practice, fucking any of that stuff. So it's just like, goddamn, it's just you might as well just do it yourself. Just do everything yourself. That's why all the music that I write and everything's me. And the only thing is my and this is what's fucked up. 90% of all the music that I write, I need a female vocalist because it's through a female perspective. When I try to write shit through a male perspective, it's just too fucking funny. It's just too fucking funny.
Or so dirty.
I mean, because it's kind of like the only thing that I know how to write as a male perspective is like, it's too male. It's like, I want to crush your throat because you're a fucking, or like that chick is so fucking hot. I want to eat her ass. You can't, those are not lyrics that go over real well.
Well, nobody told David Allan Coe that when he wrote "Cum Stains on the Pillow" or "Butt Fucking."
Those are two classics, by the way.
Fucking.
So I mean, so when I write music, a lot of times it's instrumentals, and then if I do write lyrics, a lot of times through a female perspective, somehow I can do it, and maybe I'm a trans music, right?
There you go.
But that's another thing is when I write music, it's all over the place. So if you listen to one song, you'd say, "Oh, this is the type of music he plays." But if you listen to another one, completely different. You're gonna go, "What the fuck?" And then if you listen to another one, it's completely different. Where the genres change. Every song is different, and I just let the creative process flow, and I don't try to shape it. Whatever comes out, comes out.
My stuff, to me, has always been gotten too personal, and I always felt like I'm giving away too much. I'm telling a story here that it's not something that you would just blurt out in a conversation. And so I got to the point where I just gave up. I'm not going to write anymore. And then I had this conversation with my brother one time about why I have so much trouble writing a song. He said, I can write a riff, I can write music, but I can't come up with the lyrics that I like. He goes, there's either one or two things. It's either too personal or you really don't have anything that you want to say. And the few things that I have done were when I actually had something I wanted to say. You know, and it wasn't just for the sake of writing a song. It was because I had something I wanted to say, and the song came out.
Mm-hmm. Have you tried looking at the lyrics, looking at the message, and saying, let's go ahead and kind of decode it? So it's almost like you have to have the Rosetta Stone, and only you have the Rosetta Stone, and everybody else listens to it. They get the mood, they get a vague idea, but they really don't know for sure. So it's kind of your interpretation.
I had this idea, or this thing ran through my mind today about a video topic, and we were driving this morning, and the song Brandy by Looking Glass came on. Remember, Brandy, you're a fine girl, what a good wife you would be. I said, you know, back then, songs told a story.
Yeah.
Okay, think of Procol Harum, A Whiter Shade of Pale. Think of Conquistador. Think of Clap for the Wolfman by the Guess Who. Think of Brandy, You're a Fine Girl. The songs used to tell a story. And when you looked at the people that wrote them, you would go, you never had that experience. But somewhere you got that idea, that concept in your head to come up with that story. You know?
Well, a lot of times the story comes from somebody talking to someone else, and they had told their story, and then so that they end up telling it. And then like what's interesting is if you listen to a lot of really famous musicians and people that have made it, they had, you know, #1 hits, and then as time goes by, they, you know, they're not as important, and then they become humble. And when they end up asking them, well, where did you come up with the idea of this song or this song or this song? A lot of times they sit there and they say, it just came to me. I didn't think about it. It just showed up.
In 5 minutes.
Yeah. And it's like all it did, I was just kind of like the medium that came from the universe. I picked up a signal. And what's awesome about that is that song Sleepwalking from Johnny and Santos. That literally came to them. Well, one of them, it came to him in a dream. He woke up his brother and said, "This is the idea," and then that's why they came up with the term, the word "sleepwalk" for that particular song, and became a #1 hit. And then and even Roy Orbison talks about that shit.
Exactly.
Dreaming,
Right,
yeah, dreaming and having.
We got a couple comments here. Danny Allen, it's difficult to write lyrics that aren't corny. That's my problem. That's my problem right there. It's hard to write lyrics that I won't think are corny to other people or too personal. And then all right, Pink Floyd, Wish You Were Here, possibly the greatest album ever written. And that's,
well, I mean, that's subjective. It's subjective. The corny lyrics, I completely associate with that 100%. This is why I always say I can't write as a guy. But writing as a female, like through that perspective, I can do it, and it's not corny. And the reason why is because I have no emotional investment in it, and it's like I'm telling a story from a third-person perspective. You know, and because if I'm only thinking about myself and I'm trying to explain my own emotions, let's face it, as men, we're not good at that. You know, I mean, we're not. But if you sit there and you try to explain somebody else's emotions that you see, it's easier for us to do that than it is our own. And I think this is one of the reasons why we have a hard time writing things that don't sound corny.
I'm gonna make myself a little bit vulnerable here.
Okay.
And I know back to the Marty Robbins thing, but see, I grew up with listening to Marty Robbins because of my dad. Mm-hmm. But there was a #1 hit that he had that I tried to learn the other night, and I learned it. But the song is called My Woman, My Woman, My Wife. And if you go listen to that song and then relate it to my experience of what I've been through lately, I can't get through the tune. I could never perform it. I could never go play it without,
because it symbolizes. Yeah, it's a symbol.
a problem, and actually all I wanted to do was be able to sing it to Linda, and I couldn't do it. So I gave her the headphones and I go, here, listen to this. And she was like, and then she goes, yeah, I get it, but you're not making me feel any better.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's a couple of Tom T. Hall songs that I was going to learn how to play because I wanted to sing it to my mother because she's a Tom T. Hall fan, and I was going to change the lyrics a little bit, in order to make it a little bit more, your son, type thing. And when you put your emotion into a song, it's a better song, but it takes a lot of fucking strength to get through it. Yep. It takes a lot, That's why I don't understand why some of these people, they can sing these songs that are so emotional to them, and they just sit there and they bow and they're like, thank you very much. You're like, how did you do that?
Here's one for you. The barmaid in the last town that we played in said it sounded like Tom T wrote this song. Well, I admit I may have stolen a little of his recipe, but the words just kind of came along. Yeah, someone put a quarter in the jukebox. Don't you know I'm about to lose my mind? I told that old waitress I was gonna kill her. She played that goddamn song one more time. Because it had Tom T in it, so.
Yeah,
Tom T was the greatest country writers of all time.
On Facebook, I'm gonna have to send me your address again because I've got something for you that I'm gonna send you, and it's very difficult.
Piece Telecaster. Stratocaster?
No, better. It's better. It's Tom T. Hall related, and it's very difficult to find. It's very difficult to find, but I've got two of them.
Oh, okay. Well, since you got two, all right, yeah, I'll send that to you.
Yeah, because I'll send that to you in the next couple of days, and when you get it, you're going to be like, I didn't even know this existed.
If you go to Mick Smith's channel, he has a video with my address on it.
Oh, that's the whole thing, doxing. Well, remember back in the day, you had the worst habit of doxing everybody that sent you something.
I did not.
You did. You used to dox everybody. Be like, hey, I just got this in the mail. Oh shit! And you would edit it, and you would do it again, and something else, and you doxing yourself. You dox everybody, and it'd be just like, don't send anything to Ed. Not unless you have a fake address, because he won't do it, intentionally. But
is that why I stopped getting shit? Is that what happened?
It might be. It might be one of the reasons why YouTube is like, we can't promote this guy. He's doxing everybody.
The doxing channel. Hey, that's a good idea. The doxing channel.
You could call your channel could be Dox Holiday.
Dox Holiday.
That's clever. Give me 1 second. I gotta get the refill.
You're a clever bastard. You are. I never doxed anybody. I just walk up to their front door with my camera and point it right at their address. Here it is. But you made a point one time that doxing you was like doxing Pizza Hut or something. It was like doxing Home Depot. It's a public business.
So here's something that my sister and my mother, well, two of my sisters and my mother, as well as my nephews from one of my sisters, they come out here, and they're visiting for a few days. And my family is a religious family, okay, and they're Baptists. They're heathens, but they're Baptists.
You tried to discuss with them the rationality of a God.
No, I can't get anywhere. I can't get anywhere. But the thing is this is the thing that had concerned me. I'm used to the whole pro-religion with him. I'm used to it. And I didn't think it was this bad, though. But I'm sitting here and I'm talking to my nephew, who's like 14 years old. Everybody else is inside the other room, and we're inside the game room here. And I'm showing him card tricks and shit. We're just shooting the shit because he's getting of age where he was 14, you know. And then so during the time that we're talking, and I'm drinking during it, and they're against alcohol. I get a piece of incense and I light it up and I put it inside my incense holder, and we're just still talking. And all of a sudden he just looks at me all funny. And then he's like, why did you light that? And I said, why did I light what? I'm like, the incense? And he's like, yeah. And I said, because I like the way that it smells. I'm like, what answer are you looking for?
It smells good. It reminds me of 1972.
It reminds me of Spencer's with the felt fluorescent posters.
Walking into Spencer's and
yeah, but the thing is he thought that I was trying to summon Satan, and then he felt uncomfortable and he left the room, all because I had lit a stick of incense. What the hell are they teaching this kid? I
don't know.
You know what I mean? And I just sit there and I'm like, you got to be kidding me! Is this a joke? I'm like, this. Even when I was all hardcore Christian, I never thought in a million years if someone lit up some incense that they were trying to summon Satan. You know, my mom used to burn fucking incense. She'd get those little cones. Remember the cones of incense? And she'd get them at Kmart. We'd light one. Well, she would light one, and then she would put in fucking on the record player the big stack of records, and then she'd put in fucking John Denver, Tennessee Ernie Ford, Dolly Parton. And then she would have Jerry Reed, and she would have Tom T. Hall, and we'd sit there and we'd listen.
Was she in direct correspondence with my mother? Because
it could be. It could fucking
that's the records that she put on the stacked up.
I'm gonna summon Satan if you guys don't mind here.
Well, I remember doing acid one time, and we did summon Satan, but he brought jelly donuts, so it was all cool.
Well, he's a nice guy if you have to get to know him. I think he's just misunderstood.
He's misunderstood, just like the Grim Reaper.
Well, it's like the lyrics of that famous song, "Oh Lord, please don't let me be misunderstood." That was Satan singing that, by the way.
I got not into an argument, but a discussion one time that I think Eric Burden from the Animals was probably the greatest white blues singer of all time. And the guy was amazing. He's this short, little, pimply guy, and that voice would come out of him.
Wasn't he also the same guy that was singing Ticket on an Airplane, Gonna Fucking Find My Baby Again?
No, that was the Box Tops. He did.
Okay, because he was like 15.
Pick that girl. He sang with War after.
Okay, but he was like 15 when he was doing those songs, right? When he was singing.
Yeah, a very young, very young, very young. The Animals, yeah. Chaz Chandler. Chaz Chandler was the guy actually that discovered Jimi Hendrix and brought him to England. And made him big in England, was the bass player from the Animals. He became a big producer.
Now, would you say that blues and ragtime? Can I say that a ragtime singer is the same as a blues singer, or would you say
not the same? But they've got there's an intersection there where they would play off each other. Ragtime music was a little more complicated and a little more upbeat.
but it's also a little jazzy, a little bluesy, depending on because I think that the greatest. I was going to say I think the greatest is Leon Redbone.
I don't know how to categorize his music.
It's like this weird. It's like a weird ragtimey, bluesy, jazzy, weird fucking thing.
Yeah.
But the way that it got that nose close up, you know, when he's doing that shit. But I've heard him
Streaks on the China never mattered before. Who cares?
When you drop kick the jacket, as came through the door, no one glared. Right. And then the thing is, but I've heard him do jazz, I've heard him do ragtime, and I've heard him do blues. And there's just something that's so authentic about the way that he does it, you know. But at the same time, when you said the best white blues, I for a second there, I'm like, oh, wait a minute, I'm going the wrong direction here because I'm thinking white soul. And when it comes to white soul, it's Daryl Hall, right?
Yeah. But there's another white soul singer that you might not be quite as aware of, and that was Robert Palmer.
Robert Palmer, yeah, he's a good singer.
And if you got to kind of dig for it a little bit and listen to the Secrets album or the Looking for Clues album. The guy was amazing.
Well, I've got some of his original. I've got some of his albums inside there. And like he died like of a heart attack, like 51 or something like that. He was like young.
Yeah. That was another thing that went through my mind today. You know, you look at all of them that died: Michael Jackson, Prince, Tom Petty. Help me out here. Who is some other ones that have passed like recently that were these young guys? And it's like, what does fame and fortune do to you? Does it kill you?
A lot of them.
Could Prince really have more of an addiction to kill him than I have had in my life? Really?
I think that it's. I don't think that it's the thing of fame and fortune. I think that it's what it is a lot of times it's like with Roy Orbison. He's a good example. And even Tom Petty, because they both died of a similar thing, where they worked themselves to death. Because Roy Orbison was having heart issues, and he was on tour. And they said, listen, you need to take a break. You need to calm down. You got to do this, this, and this. And he's like, well, I can still do a couple more fucking shows. He died because he didn't take a break. Tom Petty was in massive pain because he had all of these fucking ailments with him. And so he kept trying to fucking do the shows, and he was, even though he was in pain during them, but he was on all these painkillers because he was just trying to get through the fucking show for the fans. It ended up killing him. You know, I mean,
Warren Zevon was another one. You know, and David Letterman asked him before he died, he goes, if you had any regrets, what would your biggest regret would be? He goes, not going to a doctor for 20 years. Mm-hmm. And you know, you ignore those symptoms. And when I went to the doctor and told him what my symptoms were, you wouldn't believe the things that were going through my head. You know, what could I have? What could it be? Well, it turned out to be skeletal. You know, all right, it'll cripple you, but it ain't going to kill you right off the bat. When I took Linda to the doctor and he laid the news on her, you can't imagine. You really can't imagine what that's like. To think, oh my God, how much time is left?
No. I mean, I actually do know what that's kind of like, because when you hear about it, you're all sitting there and you're like, it's surreal. You're just like, wait a minute, this can't be right. Now that happens to other people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's surreal. But when it finally ends up registering, you're like, this is some real shit. Because I mean, we've talked about this before, but I've had in my family on my father's side, almost everybody's died of cancer. Almost everybody has. You know, and it always starts as renal cancer. If you're a man, it's going to start with kidney cancer. if you're a female, it's usually breast cancer, and then it changes it, and it keeps coming back until it takes you out.
Or ovarian.
Yeah, yeah, and it just keeps coming back. You know, like that brother-in-law that doesn't have a job that needs a place to stay, just keeps coming back. You know, and on my mother's side, everybody has a heart failure. So,
Squire Telecaster says, does longevity define quality of life?
No,
but who the fuck wants to cut it short?
Well, there's an old saying, and that is stars that burn like twice as bright burn half as long.
Right.
And and I think that, and only in my old age am I starting to really grasp certain things about life. That
old age. What are you? You're 40.
I'm 47. But when you're 47, you already have a heart problem, you have multiple sclerosis, you have all these other problems that I got. Trust me, I'm fucking old. Okay, but in my older age, I'm starting to learn that I've been chasing the wrong things my whole life. And it's like, by the time that you finally understand it, it's too late. And you know something? There's a book, and this is going to sound really funny when I say it.
It's not too late. The problem is you have to step up, and that's what I found out is you've got to step up. Okay, when something happens, and I thought when I had this surgery on my neck, I thought, oh my God, poor me. Oh shit, you know. And then this other thing happens, and I'm like, fucking hell, buddy. You need to get your shit together. Okay? You need to step the fuck up and take care of business because, you know, there is no one else. My problems became
moot. Yeah, they became moot. Yeah. The thing that I have been learning as of late, and when I say as of late, over the past year or so, that the things that we put importance on are things that we have been conditioned to put importance on, and it's really not within our nature to think that these things are important, and that we're chasing the wrong things, and the things that we're chasing, we don't even really know what they are, and we don't, and the things that we chase you can't confine anyway. So even after you think that you've got it, it's already slipped through your fingers anyway. It's fleeting. Everything, it doesn't make a difference. And it's like one of the most important things in life is to learn how to just accept things for how they are and don't fight Mother Nature, but go along with Mother Nature. It's kind of hard to explain because it's so fundamentally simple that it's like this. If you're in the ocean, if you try to hit and kick and beat up the ocean, can you do it? No, right? Because the ocean just goes along with everything that you do. You cannot hurt it. When you are solid, when you are immovable, you refuse to budge, that's when the most damage can happen to you, right? I mean, if I have a mattress and I take a sledgehammer to it and I hit it, I'm not gonna hurt the mattress. But if I have a rock there and I hit it with the sledgehammer, it's gonna shatter. And we as human beings, we need to learn how to be more like the ocean and the mattress and not like the rock. But because men, we have a tendency to be like these immovable objects, and we have so much ego and we have so much pride and shit behind it. We damage ourselves so much because we refuse to give in.
Dante made a comment here. Having a kid changes everything. I need to do my best at least for another 10 to 20 years for my autistic son. Yes, I agree. You're absolutely right. But tomorrow's not guaranteed. Mm-hmm. And you could wake up tomorrow with a little pain in the side of your neck or in your ear that could end up changing your life completely. And, you know, this goes back indirectly, not to change the subject, but this goes back to music, you know? everybody wants to become a musician or play the guitar or sing or whatever they want to do because they want to become a rock and roll star. And at what point in your life do you realize that's not going to happen? You know what? In the reality of it, I still haven't fucking given that up. Because if I can play that one riff and make that one video with all my problems, it could still happen. So dreams can come true even after all the worst has happened.
Well, this is the thing. Let's say that you end up wanting to be the rock star and all this other stuff. The first thing is the image that you have in your head of what a rock star is and all this other stuff is completely fabricated because what you think you know.
The other part of that is I never did what a lot of other people did that made it. I never went for it. I never went for it. I never committed.
Well, the thing is people only see the side that is marketed to the public about how great and wonderful it is to be a rock star. They don't see the shit that's going on in the rear. And when you hear about the shit that goes on in the rear, you're like, Jesus Christ, I don't know if I really want to do this. And there's a lot of professional musicians as well as professional actors that are honest. And they'll sit there and say, if you have any advice for young musicians that want to get in the industry, what is it? And they say, don't do it. Don't fucking do it. Go to college, fucking become a doctor and do something important. Don't fucking become a musician. Not a professional musician. Fuck that shit. And there's a lot of them that say that because the amount of misery that comes with it. Because, I mean, when you're on the camera, it's sales, it's advertising, it's all bullshit. The stuff that's going on behind it.
If there was one thing that I could go back in my life and change, it would be
your underwear
or my socks.
Yeah.
But it would be, I am not going to be a whipping boy. And I'm not going to be the guy that went and lifted that 90-pound bag of concrete 100 times today because you fucking told me I had to get paid.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm not the guy that's going to carry 50 bundles of fucking shingles up that fucking ladder because you're the guy that fucking told me I had to or I'm not going to get paid. And I would look at that guy now and say, get a fucking truck, get a fucking lift, get whatever, but not my back. You know, my back, but that was the cheapest, easiest labor for these people. And I was always of the attitude that I had to do that stuff. I had to do that stuff.
Well, you froze up on me, Ed. You still there? Or did I freeze up? Did I freeze up or did you freeze up? I just heard something. Okay, now I'm trying to see it. Yeah, okay. I didn't know if I froze up or if you froze up.
Yeah, probably me, but are we still here?
It says live. Yeah.
Are we here? All right.
Yeah,
but at any rate, you know, don't, because the point is, we spend our life working to make some other son of a bitch rich. And they will replace you in a bat of an eye. They won't even think about it. And that was why I fell back on music, because I could go do that without pain. Do you know what? And this is the honest to God truth. One thing that relieves pain where you do not feel physical pain from whatever is hurting you is when you are playing a song with other people, whether it's for 2 minutes or 3 minutes, your mind does something that actually is so focused, it cancels the pain out. And that's a real thing. That actually happens.
I've never experienced that, but then I've never played live with anybody.
Haven't you ever sat for 2 hours with your guitar and went, wow, 2 hours?
There's times that I've got immersed in it and I've got lost. Sure. You know, there's times that I'll just sit there and I'll just keep recording and recording and recording. And yeah, you lose track of time. You lose track of everything. You know, the thing is there's things that I say, well, if I could go back, I mean, I could change things. There's some things I sit back and I think, that would be nice if I could do that. But at the same time, it's like all of those things are responsible for me getting to the point that I'm at now. And I just wish they didn't have to be such painful lessons.
We're back.
Yeah.
You're still there?
Yeah, I'm still here. But I'm going to end up actually hopping off here because I've about reached my fucking limit. Cool. I've about reached my limit today, not of drinks, but just of my energy and shit like that. Because I'm still going through my MS flare-up right now, and I can manage about 6 to 8 hours a day of being awake, and then I'm fucking done. And I'm kind of reaching that right now.
Well, there's a couple comments here. You know, the mind goes into autopilot, and that is right. That when you immerse yourself in the playing or the music, that it cancels out pain, stress, even if it's only for that little block. You've heard the expression, live in that little block, live in that box, that moment, live 1 minute at a time. And sometimes we got to do that. We can't worry about tomorrow or the next week. We have to worry about this hour, this minute.
Well, the present.
This right now. We have to worry about this right now. And sometimes that's what gets you through, and music can help you do that. Well, Will, it was a good conversation. You didn't even fly off into any tangents or anything. We barely talked about Marilyn at all.
Well, first of all, I don't have to talk about her when she's here.
Yeah.
It's not good to talk about somebody in mixed company when they're right in front of you.
Okay.
But no, I didn't have to go off on any rants or anything like that because I'm, you know, the thing is I'm trying to actually stop that because it doesn't do anybody any good. And when you end up ranting, really all you're doing is preaching to the choir. You know, so it's just kind of like it's stuff that they already believe in. And there's going to be some people go, yeah, I've just been waiting so long for someone to say it because now I feel great that somebody had come out and say, but it's just kind of like, well, you don't need me to do it. You don't need me to do it. You know, it's living vicariously through me.
Fair enough.
But yeah, hopefully I can catch the next one of your live streams as well. I mean, because when I get on YouTube, sometimes it pops up saying, hey, live, you know. There's other times it'd be like, just streamed 2 hours ago or some shit. You know, you're like, oh, I missed that.
That's how I opened up my live stream was, you know, I keep getting these people to go, I just missed it. You did not. You did not just miss it. You knew it all along, but you know, whatever. So
yeah, but thanks for letting me come in and shoot the shit with you for a while because it's always enjoyable, dude.
All right, yeah, no problem.
Everybody else that's out there watching and you guys are commenting on the side. Hopefully you guys aren't too much of assholes. See, I haven't been looking at any of the comments, so I have no fucking idea.
No, everybody's been really, really cool. Everybody, absolutely everybody.
I've been in so many hangouts where the side chat, you don't even really want to fucking look at it. It's like negativity, you know.
I don't get that too much because I don't have any friends. So, you know.
Yeah, well, the last live stream I was invited in was with a bunch of religious people on Bruce's channel, and it was just nonstop. Just, you know how it is. And I'm just sitting there, I'm like, well, I'm out of here. I'll see you guys later.
Yeah.
At first, I had to give one guy shit first that was in there. But the reality is even though he seemed pleasant to me, so I was just like, well, I'm not going to go get off. I'm not going to come down on the guy. He seemed pleasant to me, And I had told Bruce that too, because he goes, "What do you think of so and so?" And I said, "Well, he was pleasant, and I don't know if Bruce really wanted to hear it, but he respected that at least, because he knew that I wasn't, I'm not going to be a dick for no reason." But I heard so much negative shit about this guy that I'm just like, oh yeah, I'll get in there. But at the same time, I was also told, oh, he was behaving himself when you enter. He's not like that usually. I don't fucking know. I don't fucking know.
He had a good influence. He had a good influence on somebody. So that's
maybe. Well, that's a first.
Yeah, there you go.
I mean, at the first, maybe I should light incense next time that I'm near him, so that way I can summon Satan.
There you go.
Anyway, thanks for letting me in, Ed, and I'll shoot the shit with you soon. Hopefully, everybody else, take care of yourself.
I'll shoot you my address so you can send me that.
Oh yeah. Because I got to send that to you. Thanks for reminding me.
Well, package it up with a one-piece strat.
I'll send you a one piece of something.
All right.
See you later, Ed. Take care, brother.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Everybody, that's it. Monday Night Live. Over and out.